Dogs don't need vitamin C and they need zero carbs. This is the facts. You know, don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you the truth. Now, Finn is a 6-month-old Australian Shepherd, and he is not overweight. He's not underweight. His weight is perfect. And if he was gaining too much weight, his mother could feed him less. Like instead of twice a day, she could feed him once a day. And she could monitor Finn visually. She doesn't even have to weigh Finn. Finn thinks I'm playing with him, and I'm not. That's important that you know that your dog doesn't need any carbs. And pet food is full of carbs. It is. It's terrible for your dog. I see obese dogs all the time. Somebody showed me a picture of this dog training expert on YouTube. And I'm doing the quotation marks, dog training expert. And he puts out videos about raw diet, which he just put his dog on raw diet, yet he's putting out information about raw diet where he gives from what I understand, I haven't watched the videos, but he gives the dogs lots of fruit and stuff like that, and his dog is morbidly obese. It looks like a Vienna sausage with toothpick legs. You don't want your dog looking like that. That's unhealthy. It's totally unhealthy. If you give your dog carrots, they're not digestible to the dog. It would have to be cooked to be digestible. All right? So if you give your dog carrots, it's going to look coming out the same way that it went going in, and there's all the sugar in the carrots. That's not good for your dog. Don't give your dog fruit. Your dog needs zero vitamin C. Why? Because dogs produce their own vitamin C. So why are you putting vitamin C on top of that? It makes no sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. Do not do that. Your dog's diet should not have anything to do with pet food. Stay away from pet food. It's not good. It's not good for your dog. This dog's been on raw diet since Finn was a puppy. Finn did a board and train with me, and now Finn is on bone-in chicken. Okay? Bone-in raw chicken. And just so you know, do not start giving an 8-week-old puppy bone-in raw chicken. Finn just started eating bone-in chicken. And, you know, he was above 5 months old and he has all his adult teeth in. And even when he started doing that, I smashed it up for about a week, getting him used to it, make sure that he could handle the chicken. So raw diet's the way to go. Stay away from pet food. Let me go get Jupie. Jupie is a good-looking dog, and he's not overweight or underweight either. But we got some stuff that we could talk about Jupie that might be helpful.
Finn! Yeah, Caine! Caine gives me ice cream.
I don't give him ice cream. Don't believe him. He's lying. Oh, this is Jupiter, and Jupiter isn't underweight or overweight. His weight looks real good. If you look at Jupe, you can see that, can't really see any rib, but there's rib there. And see how it goes in back here? That's how a dog is supposed to be. His skin isn't pushed out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you look at an obese dog, it looks like the skin is stretched. Like it's sort of like they're built like a Vienna sausage with toothpick legs. That's not Jupie. Jupie looks great. Now, when I first met Jupie, I went over to talk to his mom before I did the board and train. She said that he had irritable bowel syndrome and was on one of the specialty diets that the vet prescribed, okay? And my suggestion was get him off that ASAP and put him on a raw diet and it'll go away. And it did. So his stools are solid. They're totally solid. They look great. And his weight is real good now. Know that your pet prescribing, or your vet prescribing your pet one of these specialty diets is a conflict of interest. Pet food is bad for many reasons. It has too many carbs in it. It has cooked bone. That's what bone meal is. It's an irritant to the dog. Your dog needs zero carbs. Your dog needs zero vitamin C. They produce their own. Unless your dog has some kind of medical issue, you shouldn't be giving your dog vitamin C. That's a fact. It's a fact. Why are you putting vitamin C on top of the vitamin C it already produces? Your dog is nothing like you. And the biggest mistake that we see with dogs that are obese is that the human being thinks Whatever's good for me must be good for my dog. Like the idiot YouTube expert that, this is what I was told, was giving recipes for raw diet that included just gobs and gobs of fruit. That idiot thinks that fruit is good for him, so it must be good for the dog, and it's not. In most cases, when your dog's eating something like that, is that going to really do anything for the dog? You should consider fiber, giving fiber to your dog in the way of a plant material, but not carbs. You want a low fiber profile diet for your dog. That's a fact. Absolutely, and your dog should be on a raw diet. So you don't need a lot, you don't want to use carbs, you don't want to use a bunch of sweet potatoes. And while we're on this subject, that is the base of the carb part of a lot of diets, prepared pet foods, is sweet potatoes. That's not good. It's totally unnatural. You think a dog eating a cooked sweet potato makes sense? Human beings are the only animals that eat cooked food, okay? There's not another animal on this planet that is eating cooked food. So why are veterinarians prescribing this as a specialty diet? That's what your kibble diet is, or your canned diet is. It's a cooked diet. It's absurd. It's a conflict of interest for the veterinarians to even be selling those specialty diets. You know? They're selling pet food. Everything that the fucking vet learns in medical school about nutrition, all those studies were financed by pet food companies. It's a conflict of interest again. It makes no sense. You go into your vet's office and look at the posters or the artwork that's in your vet's office. It's usually Royal Caine, or Science Diet. It's absurd. It's absurd. Don't buy any type of pet food. Don't. It's bad for your dog. It causes a pandemic among our pets' health. Your cat? Look at cat food. Cat food is full of grain. Why would a cat be eating grain? They're a carnivore. Makes no sense. Stay away from these specialty diets. If your dog has been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, like Jupie was diagnosed with this, at least that's what I was told, consider a raw diet with a low fiber profile. And like I've said this before, the only pet food that I recommend if you're going to use raw diet would be Abity, or find something similar to Abity that your dog can eat that has a very low fiber profile. That is not Stella and Chewy's. Okay? You don't need a raw diet that has a bunch of fruit in it. That's nonsense. Your dog does not need vitamin C unless there's some kind of problem. It's not going to help your dog. It's just nonsense. There's a lot of nonsense being sold to the American public about their dogs. One, if you're going to buy pet food for your dog, you should be doing it at the grocery store in the meat section. That's where you should be buying your dog's pet food, and your cat's pet food is where you get your meat. That's where you go and get your dog's meat. But know this, your dog needs more calcium than you. Bone is part of their diet. If you're buying any type of ground meat, like hamburger or ground chicken, or you're giving them steak or anything, you have to add calcium. Calcium without D3, okay? And remember, if you're going to use bone meal is cooked bone. That can cause enteritis. Cooked bone is not good for your dog. Remember, raw chicken bones are safe for your dog. Cooked chicken bones are an irritant and can cause real problems, and your dog can end up in the hospital. Never give your dog cooked bones of any kind, and your dog does not need vitamin C or a high-carb diet with a lot of fruit. It's ridiculous. Hi, Jupie. Look at Jupiter. Jupie will hug me like he's a little monkey. See, he's like a little monkey. Monkey man.